Hello, humans of Earth. This is Jimmy Tripp, aka Brainwave on Soundcloud, and you're watching like my first tutorial ever right now using like FL Studio and stuff. I guess my first one will just basically go over like my mixer channels and like my whole mixer template layout. Like this is a custom template that I made myself that I use in every project now that I make. Like it's just like it's become natural for me. Like, look at all this. And honestly, half the time you're not even gonna need all these channels, but it helps to have this all organized the way I do. It's actually like at first I thought I was actually gonna like I don't know, kind of like wear down on my workflow, but I grew to love it and like actually find that it's been working and it's actually been helping to improve my workflow. Like I'm I'm pretty surprised. Anyway, yeah. I'm sorry in advance if my vocal like signal is kind of lagging. Like I don't know, like I'm having to use this the ACO, like FL Studio ACO, instead of my actual ACO for all. Like, this is what I use to make tracks. Like, this is what I'm using for latency, like everything. Then this is what I'm having to do for the tutorial right now because this is basically just a copy of this right now, and I don't like this. And this is basically no different than this, my primary sound driver, except that my primary sound driver won't let me use my microphone. And this actually will let me use my microphone. And so I can record my audio coming through the microphone into Bandicam, where if I were using ACO for all, like I'd like to use, that can't actually be recorded into a video, so kind of sucks. But okay, yeah, now that I got that out of the way, sweet. Okay. So to start, here's like the master channel. Like the reason I have this stereo enhancer turned on right now is because if I turn it off, just listen to how my vocals sound like with this. Like now it just sounds kind of flanged and like I don't know, like I kind of sound like a robot, so that's interesting. Sweet. Anyway, okay. Yeah, that's so I mean, I have this on my master channel. Usually it's muted. Like it is muted when I'm actually making a song, like the arrangement and everything. Same with the limiter and same with this, which I will go into detail on what this actually is in a second. But what I actually use the stereo enhancer for is to listen back to my tracks once I'm in this stage of mixing and stuff, because I can separate the stereo from the mono signal and then I can hear everything that's happening in stereo versus what's happening in mono to make sure that I have an even playing field of like stereo and mono, to make sure like my bass is in mono, my kick is in mono, like, but I'm usually doing like making sure from the start that that's all set up to be the way it should be. So I'm finding I don't have to use this as much like anymore. I don't know, like it's just there though. Like limiter, I don't have this on when I'm working or like when I'm actually laying out the project, and when I'm going about mixing, I don't have it on. I just have it there just in case I ever need to see the difference between when it's turned on and technically controlling my peak threshold. And then how well I'm controlling my peaks when it's turned off. Because ideally, what you want to do with mixing is make sure your peaks are really well controlled without even having to turn this on at all. So like you want to have this off like when you're mixing in the first place, because like it's actually good to individually control the RMS of each channel. Like, I mean, I know some people like reference by peaks, but I found it's actually better to go by RMS because that's the most common like average of where the decibels are hitting. Like, it's the average area like in the channel that they're actually hitting. Okay, so bandpass testing. I do this to sweep through while I'm in this stage of mixing like a track, like especially in the final stages. Like if I'm going into like my final like mix down, I'm sweeping this around my sixth band here, and you can even like change the width and like everything, as I'm sure you know if you're like a veteran FL Studio user or you just like know how EQ works. I do this to like kind of sweep around and make sure that like there's no unwanted like low frequencies down here. Like to make sure my mid range is like not muddy, like make sure that it's all like clean and stuff. And then up here, like my high frequencies and stuff, like make sure that I can hear like the hats and stuff, cymbals and stuff, and then nothing is trying to compete with that like too heavily. And then with the mid range too, like make sure that like there's none of this high information like hats down here, or like especially down if you're getting hats into your lower range down here, like cymbals and hi-hats, then that's impressive because like I don't know how to do that. Like that would be pretty crazy and not practical, and you would never need that at all. But okay. So yeah, that's my master layout. Oh yeah, and then wave candy. Wave candy is like kind of just used to like I mainly use it for the vectoroscope. Again, this is sort of like a stereo referencing tool. Like I'm using it to reference what's going on like in the stereo field and whatnot. So yeah, okay, this tutorial is getting a little long now. Like I'm getting close to like 10 minutes now. Like I'm about to reach 8 minutes. So I'm just gonna make a series on this now that I think about it. Like a series on my mixer template and like why I find it helpful for me to have it laid out the way I do and like where everything goes, where things are sent to. Like if you see here, I have like 4 reverb sends and then 4 delay sends. Like, I mean, I've never had to use all of them, but again, I just have them like just in case. Like it's nice to have it. Like I don't know. So yeah, like I guess this first video is just a rundown on this master chain here that I have. I don't know. And like I guess an introduction video to like my videos. I don't know. Um and I'm gonna try and get through these as quickly as I can, like run through this whole template as quickly as I can in future videos because I really want to get into like my actual sound design and stuff and like all some of the like the crazy stuff that like you've heard me do like before and stuff. Like I really want to get it into that soon. So yeah. And I'm really sorry again if like my vocals are going crazy right now. Like especially if it sounds like I'm stuttering a lot. That's just because this lag is insane. Like I have no idea how I'm actually doing this right now. So yeah, okay. Um yes, I will be making another video eventually, and I hope that you enjoyed this one. Uh peace. Yeah, just yeah. But thank you. Thank you for watching. You are a very important person. You have a future ahead of you. You will make many tracks. Okay, yeah, okay. See ya.